This is a 34-year-old Anthony Joshua. This is a terrifying human being. Terrifying. And he's got that one-punch nuclear power. One punch. And he's fast. He's going to be terrifying. And he's going to have a lot to prove. He's going to be very angry that Jake Paul wants to fight him.
It started like a casual podcast moment until Joe Rogan dropped a bomb so heavy the whole room felt like it froze. In the first 30 seconds, Rogan didn't criticize Jake Paul. He destroyed the entire idea of this fight with a reality check sharp enough to feel like evidence in a courtroom. He exposed the chilling truth Jake is walking into, and the edge in Rogan's voice said everything no promoter, no manager, and no hype man would dare say. This wasn't advice. It was a warning, and this was just the beginning.
Realistically, it's one of the craziest propositions of all time.
Jake Paul stepping into a ring with Anthony Joshua isn't a bold career move. In Rogan's eyes, it's a high-risk gamble that borders on straight-up insanity. Rogan doesn't sugarcoat anything. He says this matchup isn't brave, smart, or strategic. It's one of the wildest, most reckless propositions ever floated in modern boxing. A career leap so massive and so catastrophic that even veteran fighters cringe hearing about it. Before we go deeper, hit that like button, because what's coming next is even crazier.
You take a guy who just had a boxing match that looks like a sparring match with a 58-year-old Mike Tyson, and then you're gonna fight one of the absolute scariest knockout artists in the heavyweight division.
Rogan breaks it down with surgical detail. Jake's last big fight? A 58-year-old Mike Tyson, a legend, but nowhere near prime speed or prime danger. And now Jake thinks he's ready to jump straight into the ring with a 250-pound wrecking machine built like reinforced steel and trained to end careers. Rogan can't even process the logic. Neither can anyone who knows the sport. This isn't a jump, it's a cliff dive without a parachute. But when the real footage surfaced, everything changed.
It's like you're dealing with a guy who's an Olympic gold medalist, and he's enormous, and he's got vicious knockout power, and he's got immense amount of experience at world-class levels.
When Rogan talks about Anthony Joshua, his tone gets cold, almost documentary-level chilling. He calls Joshua terrifying, not because of the highlight reels, but because his power comes wrapped in discipline, structure, and Olympic-grade precision. Joshua isn't chaos. Joshua is control. And Rogan makes it brutally clear. This isn't celebrity boxing. This is a trained assassin with gloves on.
The timing in that right hand, just spectacular.
That's stepping in as well.
Over the top. I mean, that was a full force shot to the temple. I mean, he's Fucksville right now.
Rogan says Joshua hits like a freight truck, but moves like a middleweight, and he means every word. He's watched Joshua shut off elite fighters with single clean shots. Men bigger, faster, more experienced than Jake. So when Jake signs this contract, Rogan doesn't see courage. He sees ego, delusion, and a paycheck with enough zeros to blur someone's survival instincts. And the size difference? Jake walks around at 199 to 220 pounds. Joshua only cuts to 245 because the contract forces him to. His natural weight sits between 260 and 270. If you're still watching, hit subscribe because the next part is unbelievable.
And there's some sort of a rehydration clause. Listen, kids, it ain't gonna matter. You know, there's not a chance that Anthony Joshua is not going to just lose the weight beforehand. He's not going to come in drained. What he's going to do is just do extra cardio.
Rogan lays out the physical mismatch like evidence on a table. 5 inches of height, 6 inches of reach, red flags everywhere. And the scariest part, Joshua knows how to use every inch of that advantage with ruthless efficiency. His jab sets traps. His right hand, Rogan calls it a punishment device. The kind of shot that doesn't just end fights, it erases moments.
Okay, look, Usyk beat him, and he beat him twice, and Andy Ruiz caught him in the first fight and dropped him and stopped him. It was spectacular. Andy Ruiz is super fucking talented. Usyk is perhaps the greatest heavyweight boxer of all time.
Then comes the resumes, and this is where the reality hits hardest. Jake fought Tommy Fury, who beat him. Before that, he faced retired UFC fighters, a YouTuber, a basketball player. Good for entertainment, sure, but nowhere near the monsters on Joshua's list. Klitschko, Parker, Povetkin, Ruiz, Ngannou, Usyk. These are world-class destroyers with Olympic backgrounds and decades of experience. Rogan drops their names to show Jake isn't just stepping up. He's stepping into a universe he's never experienced.
This YouTuber who's fought Tommy Fury, who's a legit boxer, and, a couple other guys that were legit boxers. That's it. Like everyone else he's fought Ben Askren, who's really a wrestler. He fought Tyron Woodley, who was an elite MMA fighter, but, not an elite boxer.
That's why Rogan says this isn't the same sport level. This is nightmare fuel. Jake isn't moving up. He's sprinting into the deep end of elite heavyweight warfare, with no brakes and no flotation device. Rogan talks about timing, footwork, pressure, things Jake has never solved. Fury troubled him. Woodley dropped him. Anderson Silva outboxed him. So Rogan asks the question nobody wants to say out loud. If Jake struggled there, what happens when Anthony Joshua walks in with bad intentions?
And that's just going to make him more dangerous. He's going to be terrifying, and he's going to have a lot to prove. He's going to be very angry that Jake Paul wants to fight him.
Rogan insists Joshua will enter this fight angry, motivated, and insulted by the idea that a YouTuber thinks he can stand across from him. And that's the part people don't understand. A fully locked in, emotional Anthony Joshua is a different species. He doesn't toy with opponents. He doesn't pity them. He eliminates whatever is standing in front of him. Rogan circles this point like a siren. Joshua's pride alone makes this fight dangerous.
This is a 34-year-old Anthony Joshua. This is a terrifying human being. Terrifying.
He's not exaggerating. He's exposing a truth fans don't want to face. Jake Paul isn't just fighting a bigger man. He's fighting a man from a completely different universe of violence. Olympic pedigree, world titles, a knockout list that reads like a demolition blueprint. And the scariest part, Rogan believes Jake has no idea what that kind of power feels like.
And then Joshua, check out this combination he hits him with. I mean, dude, the speed that he hits him with this, he's so dangerous, man.
And Rogan brings up the highlight reel, the horror tape. He practically begs people to rewatch Joshua's knockout of Francis Ngannou, not for hype, but as a public safety message. He breaks the knockout down like a forensic analyst, the footstep, the angle, the piston-like right hand that folded Ngannou, a man built like a superhero, in half. This wasn't luck. It was cold, precise destruction.
Jake Paul's 6'1" versus 6'6" Anthony Joshua. Jake weighed in for the Tyson fight at 199.
Yeah.
Joshua against Ngannou was 252.
6'6". Just not just 6'6", but 6'6", and knows how to use every fucking inch of it.
And Ngannou isn't just anybody. This is the same man who sent 6'9", 270-pound Tyson Fury to the canvas like a falling building. Yet Anthony Joshua erased Ngannou in minutes, deleted him like removing a file. Rogan keeps hammering this truth because fans keep underestimating Joshua. Jake isn't fighting a puncher. He's fighting the man who breaks punchers, the man who destroys knockout artists.